In this video, we're going to make or going over our lists a little bit easier with the help of for loops. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a bunch of food items and a bunch of prices. Let's say, for example, I wanted to print out everything that was in food items. I have a couple of options. So I can say for, so in our for loop we do for, we make a new variable, and say items in our list food items, and I can print whatever item it is. So what it's going to do is say for new variable items in food items, so everything inside of food items printed out. If I run this, let's just ignore that, it's going to print out all of the different items in my list. In the same way, it's also going to, if I, for each, so I'm going to name this something sensible, prices in food prices, and run it. Okay. Oh, I didn't change that. There we go. Now I'm actually going to print out the prices if I run it. So I've got all the items here, and underneath it, all of the prices. So you can do it as easily as that. For, make a variable in whatever list. I want to actually make this a little bit smarter. Okay, now this goes back to when we're actually using that integer value from before. So I'm going to get rid of this. There's another way we can write our for loop if you remember. It is for counter. I'm going to give it a name called counter in range. Now, how many items do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 items. So I'm going to go 0, then stop at 4. So it actually only counts up to 3. For counter in range 0 to 4. So I'm saying for something I'm giving it, I want to do it 4 times. I'm going to print out the value of food items at the index of the counter, because remember the counter starts at 0, like I define here. So it's going to say print food items 0. So it should print pizza. I'm also going to print food prices at counter. So let's run this through without running this first. So it's going to go for counter in range 0 to 4. So print food items 0. Pizza. Print food prices 0. It should say 11.50. Then it will iterate up and it will go to 1. So it'll go print food items at spot 1. So the garlic bread. And print food prices at spot 1, 7.50. You get the idea. Run that. Now I start to actually get a list. If I want to add something to this list, I can say, what's something else? Let's say ice cream. I'm going to add a price for it and say $6.50. Now, if I run it, you notice it's not showing the ice cream up down here. That's because I'm only going from 0 to 4. So I've changed the size of my list. So I want to change how far it goes. Run it again. You'll see my ice cream is now included. Fantastic. Well, what can I do with this information? Well, let's say I want to find out what I can afford. So let's say patron money. I'm going to make a variable. It's going to be a float, so they're going to give me a number. Input, how much money do you have? Okay. So when I'm looping over list, I want to tell them what they can afford. So I'm going to say if the food prices at whatever spot is less than or equal to whatever money they had, okay, then I'm going to print it out. Else, I'm going to say can't afford. No, actually, I'm not going to do anything on the else. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to even give it to him as an option. So this here now says if the food prices at whatever spot it is less than or equal to how much money you have, print out that they can afford it. So if I run it, oh, what have I done here? line 7. Oh, again, I forgot my little colon, my if statement. I'm going to run it. How much money do I have? Now I'm going to say I've got $20. I can afford everything with $20. But let's say I only have $5.65. I can only afford a Coke. It rules everything out on that list. Let's run it again. Let's say I had $10 this time. I can afford the garlic bread, the Coke, and the ice cream. So this list got a whole lot smarter by being able to check against specific things. Okay. And that's pretty much looping over lists.